It's that time of year again, back to school. And today I want to show you a sweet Amigurumi gift basket that I've made one of my teacher friends. So come along and see what it's all about. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cindy Smiles. The fall always reminds me of that scene in You've Got Mail when Meg Ryan was writing to Tom Hanks and she was saying how much she loved fall in New York City and the smell of freshly sharpened pencils. I too feel that in my soul. The only problem is I live in Houston and fall here is pretty much summer. All the time. I am a former teacher, hence my love for pencils. But what I really love are children's books. I have created a whole gift basket for one of my friends for a back to school, a good luck, peace be with you type of gift. And that book is The True Story of the Three Little Pigs by John Sciecka. He's got a hard name, and it's illustrated by Lane Smith. This used to be one of my favorite books to read in my classroom. We're just gonna call him John. John's books. He has many. Some of them you've probably already heard of. The Stinky Cheese Man, The Math Curse, and The Frog Prince Continued. And in this story, Alexander T. Wolfe tells his side of the age-old tale. And in his version, it's all a misunderstanding. He was just going to the pigs' houses to get a cup of sugar to make a cake for his dear old sweet granny, and he just happened to sneeze, blew down a house, and devoured the pigs. Quite a misunderstanding, don't you think? And it's just a wonderfully told story. I thought this would be a great idea to build around this guy and his dinners, for lack of a better word. I also included the original telling of the story, and this particular one is by Mara Alperin, and it's illustrated by Ag Jadwokowska. Why does everybody have to have a really hard name? All teachers love organization and baskets and themes. I tried to make my basket go right along with that. And let's go through what all I have in here. I used the pattern from the book Amigurumi Fairy Tales by Tessa von Wright-Ernst. The difficult names are continuing. It hasn't stopped. This book is a great resource to add to any Amigurumi library. And if you're like me and you have a collection / hoard, you should do this. She has very cute characters based on stories we all know. Little Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They are all precious. I decided to try her pig pattern. It's a very easy pattern. I did change it up a little bit to go along with my own taste and style, and also because I was a former teacher for blind and visually impaired kids, and so I still do some things that I would have done for my class. So I tried to make each little pig have some different characteristics. So if a blind child held it, they would know that it was different. Let me introduce you to everybody. First, we have Charlie. Why I name every character, I do not know, but they all have a name. And Charlie is obviously the farmiest of the pigs. He is wearing his gold overalls with his little strap wrapped across his chest. He is wearing his straw hat. He's working in the fields. So he's worked kind of hard, and kinda is probably why he was eaten first. Poor little Charlie, he just didn't put in as much effort as the other two. And then I use crayons to add the rosy to his cheeks and in his ears. I personally think crayons are great. They're really easy to control, and you have just such a huge variety of colors you can use on your characters. Next we have Harold. Harold built his house of sticks, hence his brown pants. I also gave Harold a turtleneck because I made him have a blue shirt, and because of that there was a large neck seam connecting his body to his head. And to hide that, I just made a separate little piece for a turtleneck, and then I sewed this on. I think he's very cute. He's a little plump. I love how sophisticated his turtleneck makes him look. Then there is this fellow, Bernard. Obviously, Bernard is a snappy dresser. He has his red overalls with red suspenders because he was working with bricks. Also, you might notice Bernard is just a little thinner than the others, but he was lifting bricks all the time. He's building up muscle. He's a little less flabby, should we say, than the other two. He also has a bow tie, and this is another way I chose to hide the neck seam on my pigs. He's very dashing. Now lastly, our villain. this is Alexander T. Wolf. I chose not to make the wolf from the fairy tale book. That wolf was just a little too cartoonish for me. I wanted a more professional, sophisticated looking wolf like Alexander T. Wolf was in The True Story of the Three Little Pigs.
Really?
I decided to make Harry Wolf from the first Pica Pau book by Jan Schenkel. Another difficult name. Why has everybody got to have such hard names? And if you don't have the Pica Pau books, why don't you have them? These are my absolute favorite crochet books. I have all of them, and I'm not ashamed. Is it an addiction? I don't think so. It's a collection. This is not my first time to make this guy. I have made him previously, and I just love him. He is a little bit challenging here in the head with the color changing. I use the intarsia method, which basically means that I do not crochet over the yarn I am not using at the time. I carry it along with me in the back, and then I pick it back up. And I chose to do that because sometimes you can see the yarn you're not working with show through on the other side, and I wanted him to have a little bit of a cleaner look. That is why I did that. But that's not the tricky part of this guy. The tricky part is this nose. When you sew him on, trying to line up his snout and the color changing with the head is a little bit of a challenge, and to keep his nose and his mouth straight because you sew these on before you attach the snout to the face. That is the hardest part of this guy. Other than that, he's a breeze and he's fun to work on. I just love him. He's adorable. For all of my pigs, I use Paintbox Simply Aran and my Furls Odyssey size D or 3.25 millimeter hook. I think they came out to a nice size. And for the dark brown on Alexander T. Wolf, I used Lion Brand, and this particular color is called Sequia. The last thing I made was the basket to hold everything in. And this is the Herringbone round basket, and it's a free pattern from Yarn and Chai. I will put a link to her website down below, and I love this how she designed it to have a bit more structure because it's actually a fairly tall basket, and she made it to where the top would fold down on the inside. And to give the basket a little bit more structure, I used plastic mesh on the inside, and that really helped stabilize it. I also did a back loop stitch when I was changing from making the base of my basket to the sides. I am still contemplating whether I want to make a crab stitch to go around that. I hate the crab stitch, but it would probably class it up a little bit, but I'm still trying to decide if I am ready to pick up this yarn again. The yarn I used is Hobbie's ribbon yarn. It is 100% cotton. It's perfect, but also it is cotton. I was able to make it in about 4 hours, but I did have to have breaks. It is hard on the hands if you're my age, but I think the end result was worth it. To complete the theme of my basket, I added something that represented each character. For Charlie, I put Wiki Sticks inside. And if you don't know what Wiki Sticks are, it's basically yarn that has been dipped in wax, and it makes it very malleable. You can cut it, you can make shapes, characters, you can use it to outline or underline words. It's a very multi-sensory tool that's great in any classroom. And for Harold, I added pencils, Ticonderoga pencils, because they are the very best. These will be valuable in a classroom all year long. There's never enough pencils. To continue the theme, Bernard is giving red erasers that symbolize the bricks that he built his house with. And to complete everything, Alexander T. Wolf is giving a food gift card. Obviously. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my gift basket and that it's maybe given you some ideas of ways you can gift your own Amigurumi to friends and to create themes around your characters. Let me know what your favorite book character is in the comments down below. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.